Snježan stayed in Bosnia and I left. You could say it was only chance that made us take such different paths. I can't help wondering, what if chance had taken a different turn? If I had stayed in Bosnia during the war and Snježan had left?
Ne bojte se ništa, niko vam neće ništa uraditi.
Ovo je živio! Gospodine general, nakon otrovanja Srebrenice ovdje se nalazi nekoliko hiljada muslimanskih civila i šta će biti sa njima?
To ste vi snimali, to ste vi snimali. I onda ste poslije otišli, ti si otišao sad, gdje si ti otišao, ste svi otišli, ja?
Otišao onda da radim prilogu, da već nisam se vraćao tu nikada.
Jesi nikad više nisi bio tamo?
Poslije rata.
Čega se još sjećaš šta je bilo tamo
Gdje?
u Potičarima?
Sjećam se, kad je došao taj prevoz, onda sam potičali u te autobus, on je govorio onda nemojte da trčite, svi ćete stati, nemojte da se koje dijete izgubi slučajno. Ja ne vjerujem da je on mogao da učestvuje u to. Sam njega vidio tih dana jer sam bio u Potičarima. Znaš, kada gledaš nekog ko hoće da te prevari, ko migolji, ko oklijeva, tačno ti prepoznaš kad neko nije onakav kakav je inače. Ili je sjajan glumac, u što sumnjam, jer njemu je narod strašno vjerovao. Njemu narod i sad vjeruje. Srpski narod sigurno. U globalu, običan čovjek.
Snježan filmed the day that Mladic's troop came into Srebrenica. And I went to Srebrenica years after the war and filmed the women who lost their sons and husbands.
Eto, ovdje je isto grobnica. Eto, ovo ovdje. Lidija, ovo je vuda grobnica. Eto, sad idemo po tijelima. Ovo su tijela. Da li su ih ubijali pa ih ovdje dovozili? Da li su ih doveli žive pa ih ovdje pobili? To samo Bog zna. I sad ja možda stojim na svom sinu, na svom bratu. Na nečijim kostima stojim. Da ih sram bude.
Sa vjetrom, ja?
And here we are now. Snježan and I were at different times at different places, so we experienced the war differently. Snježan believes that Mladic is innocent, and I believe Mladic should be tried. Even though Snježan knows where I stand, he is still opening himself to me. This gives hope. I imagined the film that Snježan and I would make together, a film where Snježan would take me to people that knew General Mladic, and I would take him back to Srebrenica in order to confront both of us with a side of war we don't know. It made sense to me.
Kako sam ja sad da vratim sa početka, sa mojom, kako sam ja došla na ideju, na ideju uopšte o svemu tome priče, ja znači radim ovdje, otkad radim filmove, radim ih najčešće na ovom području i s čime se ja najčešće srećem je da su dvije strane vide svijet, vide stvari sasvim različite. Sve ideje mojih, ja imam neku drugu informaciju, ja tebi pokažem tu drugu informaciju kako sam ih ja do sad naučila. Jer ti ćeš meni iz toga neka reći, to nije tako ko što si ti rekla. Ćeš mi reći, vidiš, možda to je tako.
I zašto onda da idem kod nekoga tamo da mi on govori o svojoj istini?
Samo zato što će to biti da čuješ nešto što do sad nisi čuo. Drugu stranu priče.
Mene to zanima.
Ej, ja da ti kažem, vidiš šta će te biti. Što ne zanima me.
Zanima me, no.
Šta te ne zanima?
To što sad pričaš.
Što?
Stvarno, mislim, nema potrebe da me neko još ubjeđuje da mu je bilo teško. Naravno da mu je bilo teško, i meni je bilo teško rad. I meni je bilo teško kad mi je brat poginuo. Pa što sad treba slušati nekoga drugog da mu je bilo teško. I da ja saučestvujem sa njim, a on neće saučestvuje sa mnom. I još mi kaže da sam ja bio agresor u ovom ratu.
Ali ja upravo mislim baš ovo što sad ja pokušavam napravim zajedno s tobom.
Znači, Lidija.
Da će upravo uraditi sve to što ti imaš primjedbe, na što ti imaš primjedbe do sada. Ja želim da je čujem.
Ja potpuno razumijem tvoju želju. Znači, tvoju želju potpuno razumijem. A da li ti razumiješ šta se ovdje sve može iskonstruisati iz jednog, recimo, ajmo reći, nevine želje da pomogneš nekome da sazna toga što ga interesuje. Da li to možeš da razumiješ?
Ne mogu.
Pa eto onda, šta pričam?
Ne znam koje stvar nećeš da radiš. Nešto što će biti, što bi moglo tvoju... Da... Pa Snjer, pa reci mi samo nešto nećeš da radiš. I'm somewhere in between the tribunal and the people, and I'm on neither side. I just came back a couple of hours ago from Montenegro, and the flight was delayed for change. And I met the guy on the airport. So just to kill the time, he asked me, where do you live? I said, in Netherlands. And he's like, ooh, aren't you scared? It's like, Netherlands and scared? Like, that's not the first that I thought of when you say Netherlands. So I thought he's thinking sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and then I'm gonna disappear. So it's like, no. I'm thinking they arrest all our people in the Hague tribunals. Like, oh, yeah, that's very much to the point. And I think he explains what most of the people in former Yugoslavia think. My Montenegrin friend is 30, so he was 5 when the war started. And he was 15 when all wars ended. And yet, that's what he thinks. Unfortunately, I think that's what most people there think about. It's not, when I hear Lada saying it's a shame that people think like that, I feel much stronger about that. That's all I do. That's what I do in my life. I make films about people knowing and understanding what they think about the tribunal. I don't follow tribunal case myself, not because most of my friends in Yugoslavia, they either have a completely very clear opinion about what's happening there. Everyone knows exactly what happened, who did what to whom and when and why. And you'll meet people on the street and they'll tell you exactly who's guilty and what they did, and it's never them. That's how we are. It's always someone else. The hell that are the others, always. And except then you have a small group of people who are neutral. So no one is really positive about the tribunal in former Yugoslavia. In the best case, they're neutral. You have some intellectuals that they'll kind of pull themselves behind and say, like, I have too many of my own problems. I'm not going to worry about the tribunal. I can't be bothered. I don't have enough of personal problems not to worry about it, and yet I don't follow it either. I did at the beginning, when just tribunal started, I was following it big time, obsessively. I think I felt this moral obligation to follow something that, they're trying to solve something in my own country that's trying to solve my problem, so I morally have to follow it. Now, many years later, I became less moral and more cynical, and I'm not following it at all anymore. I only from now and then hear what's happening, but I'm very, very, very happy that the tribunal exists. So I don't have to do that. What they're doing, what Lada was explaining, they're having all these people on a case and then trying to figure what has really happened. I decided to trust them, to believe what they're doing. But I think deciding that is a very luxury position, and I'm very aware of the fact that it's a very luxury position to be able to trust them, because if maybe some of my family members have been killed, or if I was living down there with all these circumstances where they make you bend the places you never thought you could bend, maybe I wouldn't. With the same brain, with the same set of mind, with the same heart, maybe I would be exactly like everyone else, because I don't think I'm really very different from everyone else. I think actually exactly the same. But I'm very happy that tribunal exists, because the crimes have to be punished. I mean, it's as simple as that, is it? It's there is a crime, and if they're not punished, then we live in complete anarchy. So I'm really madly happy that they allow me to do my films, which are very different because there is a tribunal who's going to take care to find out what has really happened, who did what to whom and when and why. I can go talk to regular people, like my Montenegrin friend, and try to figure out what's happening in their lives. How did war affect their lives? And also how it affected my life. And I've learned from all that working for so many years
on that same topic, I have really learned how madly similar we all are. So maybe you will have I wouldn't take Mladic maybe necessarily as an example, but maybe someone who has killed, who has been in a war, and he's sitting at home now and full of bullets and is ticking to left every time the phone rings. Or me standing here very sophisticatedly in my best dress and trying to make my point here. That there's really not much difference in all of that. What I learned working in the war zone for so long is that at certain point something happens, and it's these circumstances. Herodotus said it 2,500 years ago. Circumstances rule the man. Man doesn't rule the circumstances, and I really would swear by it. I'm talking from all these, circumstances. Where you're born, from what family, what kind of genes, how were you brought up to the very arbitrary moments where have you been at certain point when war was about to start? Were you in the right place with the right people, with the right amount of money, with the right chance to live? Or you didn't. And the next thing you know, you're like 25 years later trying to make your point to people, or maybe just on the other side because you were not on the right place, not with the right amount of money. You've been in a war, and you had to take a gun. I think it's very luxury position. I'm a woman. I've been brought up with loads of love. I've been highly educated. I've been pushed to be educated. Women being very, very important. I mean, I didn't have to go to the war. So it's like huge amount of things that helped me that I'm standing here now, which doesn't make me any better. And that somehow I learned from my work is that I wouldn't so easily draw a line between the guilty one and not guilty one. I remember when war started and I was asking my parents, why didn't you do anything to stop the war? I mean, you saw it happening, you saw all this misery going on. I was like, you didn't do anything to help us, save this amazing, beautiful country. And like, look at this, like, what's happening? What did you do? And look at me now. I have a 10-year-old son, and I do exactly nothing to make his world better. Look at the world we are living in. I'm not really necessarily sure this is the world where I want my son to live in. It's like this exploding all over the place. Syria, Afghanistan, Iraq. Just half of Africa, not mention it. And it's somehow, again, I'm not sure I'm taking responsibility for what I could do. So I'm really glad that the tribunal exists, so they can make these cases, like they know exactly who did what. But I would like to ask you maybe, how would we all do if there was some tribunal that would decide how guilty are the people that didn't do anything, and they could do stuff? How well would we do on a tribunal like that? Thank you very much.